When the Lasombra reasserted control over their old religious power centers, the Ventrue responded by expanding their influence in the new nobility, governments, and multinational corporations. With global political pull, Fiorenza Savona keeps the clan relevant and dangerous at the center of global power. Hard-nosed and unafraid to tell another vampire to take a running jump, Fiorenza worked hard as a mortal and continues to do so as a kindred to ensure the wealthy and powerful vampires remain in their positions. Moving up through NGOs and the UN, she knows everyone worth controlling in the Davos elite. Her sire targeted her for her contacts list and discovered her Machiavellian political and business acumen. A fresh power player in the Camarilla, many elders and Ancilli consider her a mere new money Ventrue. Their wiser clanmates know her actions sway councils, corporations, and individual mortals possessing real power. Where her predecessors focused on vampiric politics, Fiorenza believes the key to kindred longevity lies in the manipulation of the living. Greetings, Kindred. I am Voivode Maquette, and welcome to episode 40 of Metaplot Monday. Episode 40. I've been doing Metaplot Monday for 40 weeks. I don't think I've missed one. Anyway, we've been doing this for quite some time, and I'm really glad that this nice round number, this number 40, has fallen on Fiorenza Savona. She is so much fun. Like, she's just fun. And I love watching Jason Carl play her in LA by Night, or in I think it was Seattle by Night also that he played her in. But that voice that he pulls out, you just know who it is when you hear those words, "Victor, my boy," and things like that. I love watching Jason Carl play Fiorenza. She's just a fun NPC. And she's got so much power. She really is the new power. She is, from what I understand, the Prince of Mexico City. She's a neonate. She's recently embraced. And there's not much information on her outside of what we get in the lore sheet and a few snippets here and there throughout the books. And that's really sad. We don't know her generation. We don't know her sire. We don't know anything. I would love to find out that Fiorenza was like the newest child of Hardestadt or something like that. That would just be so fulfilling to see something like that happen. Or perhaps she's maybe the child of Jan Peterzoon or something like that. Just some famous Venture just needs to step up and claim her. Maybe even a child of Lucindy, the Justicar for Clan Ventrue. That would be amazing. But the thing is, she is a very powerful kindred regardless of her age, and it really does show what V5 has come into. Because for decades now, since Vampire the Masquerade came out, it's always been the neonates on the bottom and the elders on top. But now that the elders are all retreating due to the beckoning, there's so many hollows in the halls of power that kindred of younger ages are able to just jump up and take it. And I don't know really if it's more of a mechanic thing to take into consideration due to the fact that, like, the way they've readjusted disciplines, or just the fact that Fiorenza is just that powerful. She was just that powerful in life and continues to be so in death, that nothing's going to stop her. Not age, not generation, not anything. And I would love to see more from this character. Maybe a novel based on her, or a comic book based on her exploits. But we've seen what she does to set up her pieces. We've seen how she acts when she deals with Victor. in LA by Night with the whole setting him up for success in a fashion. It's like she is making it so that the Camarilla will stay out of there until she can have Victor, who she does have power over in some fashion, ready to take on the reins as Prince himself in LA and switch him over from Anarch to Camarilla. But who knows exactly what's going to happen with anything like that. But we can tell that Fiorenza Savona is a power broker that should not be messed with. Investing 1 point into Fiorenza's lore sheet, you get on Fiorenza's list. Fiorenza knows who you are, which either means she thinks you're an asset to the clan or a problem. Consequently, she has assigned a gifted mortal retainer, bodyguard, driver, butler, etc., to you. Though they remain in her employ, they make no secret of spying on you and reporting back to Fiorenza, and they never drift far. Even if dismissed, if the mortal is harmed or killed, Fiorenza makes note that you're not to be trusted. But if your conduct is good, you move further into her good graces. This is quite obviously one of the things that we had with Victor. Eve was amazing, and she stayed with him for a very long time. I did notice, however, that after a while she did end up going on her own path. She developed into her own character, and I do like the fact that they did that, because it was more cinematic that way. After a little while, you did start liking Eve as a character in general. I would use this as a way of really trying to show what extent Fiorenza is trying to do to have her grip of power in your city. If a character has taken any points on this lore sheet, it means that Fiorenza has taken interest. And having the first level of this, if having on Fiorenza's list, means that she's already taken steps to have agents of her own power and control in that city. Investing 2 traits gets you breakfast with Fiorenza. Despite her high-profile role, once per story, Fiorenza will make a space in her busy schedule to meet with you. Maybe you have dirt on her, or perhaps you're close friends. A meeting with Fiorenza can be lucrative and informative if you ask her the right questions. Obviously, right there, that just leaves it to the imagination of the player. To be able to have an open, honest answer from an NPC is always a valuable thing. I typically, as a storyteller, try to make it so that my NPCs, they are out for their own. I don't typically have NPCs that I've built tailored around the player characters. If anything, the player characters are typically dumped into a city that there's already machinations going where the NPC is trying to accomplish something, and the player characters are either going to be tools in the direction of accomplishing that or obstacles in the way. That's actually how I run my stories, and it works pretty well in my opinion. But being able to actually have an NPC, or an SPC as it's called in V5, sit down with you and have a friendly conversation is a gift that should never, ever go unappreciated. Investing 3 traits gets you friendly benefits. You were close to Fiorenza before she became the next big thing in Clan Ventrue, and this friendship pays dividends. She can smooth over ruffled Ventrue, provide you with insider trading tips, loan a Gulf Stream equipped with polarized windows and pre-cleared flight plans, etc. If you overuse or misuse this connection, the equivalent of a 3-dot mala, she cuts you off without hesitation. Deciding what is overusing is going to be a lot to consider. Not to mention, I've always considered the idea of you want to make sure that you can do favors for her on occasion. At least you're available for said things. This is one of those lore sheets where I would definitely caution using it sparingly, because you don't know when you're going to need it, and you don't know when the luck is going to run out. And from everything that I've learned about her, Fiorenza seems to be a bit spiteful. And even if she does book you a plane from A to B, it doesn't mean that your enemies aren't going to be waiting for you as you arrive at your destination. Investing 4 traits gets you the Directorate. The shadowy Ventrue Directorate approached you. Concerned about Fiorenza's meteoric rise, they chose you to approach her, suborn her, and break her to their will. If you accept, you submit to a blood bond and have your memories of the Directorate's identities erased. But you receive 6 dots to select from among contacts, mala, and resources. Of course, you could approach Fiorenza and offer to work as her double agent. That is such a very interesting point in the lore sheet, because not only does it have you working against the focus of the lore sheet, perhaps you have the option to work against the focus of the lore sheet, it shows that the Ventrue Directorate are not happy with what she's doing. She is doing things against what the Ventrue actually want to happen. I really wonder if there is anyone pulling her strings, and if anybody is that brazen, who exactly is it and what is their goal? Investing 5 traits gets you Government Motion. Fiorenza owes you a favor. Once per chronicle, she agrees to influence a mortal political leader as you request. Her suggestions equal 5 dice to distribute as you like among any role involving government actions. If you create a major political disturbance or otherwise act to reinforce Fiorenza's suggestions, the storyteller may add another dice based on your plan and how well you succeed at it. That's major. That's really, that is your critical role right there. That right there is the ability to completely change the political leanings of an entire city or government agency. And that could very well help you. That could be used in not solving issues with the Second Inquisition, but at least pushing things in the right direction to you, so that you're dealing with a small cell rogue government agency than actually dealing with a big government agency. Fiorenza's lore sheet in general just is, it's as big and powerful as Fiorenza herself, and that needs to be taken into consideration majorly, is that anything that you do concerning this lore sheet will have repercussions on the way your game runs, not just for you, but the other players involved. Being on Fiorenza's list is going to be one of those things that could very well help you and others out due to the fact that you are getting a retainer. But of course, every single thing that you do, every dirty deal, every back alley contact that you have is going to be reported back to the Prince of Mexico City. And again, if I'm right about that, I'm pretty sure that she is the Prince of Mexico. The advantages offered in the Fiorenza Savona lore sheet are just as powerful as Fiorenza herself. Everything from just having one of her specialized mortals to help you in your situations, to being able to hold power over whole government agencies through the sway of her mood, is just, it's massive. And it is one of those things that is going to change the way your game runs in one fashion or another. And the last thing you want to do is actually get on her bad side, which some of these advantages listed actually give you the option to do that. So you could be having quite a powerful rival. And for anybody who's paid attention to the videos that I've done in the past, we've seen what a 2-point rival can do. I'd wonder what exactly the point average of Fiorenza could be. Fiorenza Savona is a character that I am looking forward to seeing much more of. I want to see her show up in books, comics, narratives. I just want to see what happens with this SPC in general. She has quickly risen to one of my favorite Ventrue, up there with Jan Peterzoon, and the concept of what she can actually do, what she can actually succeed in, is mind-boggling with how much power she gained simply as a mortal. As always, I'm going to ask, what have you done with Fiorenza, if anything? And what are your favorite moments that we've seen Fiorenza take part in, presented by Jason Carl also? Because if I've missed something, I definitely want to see more, because she's just such an entertaining character. I am Voivode Maquette. This has been Metaplot Monday, and a look at the lore sheet for Fiorenza Savona. Thank you for joining me. Good evening.